Hi guys, long time no see. I know it's been probably a year since my last video. Um to be honest, I haven't really had that much to say. I haven't really been paper planning, at least that much. But these last couple months, that's all kind of changed. And today I have a budgeting video because that's kind of where that has changed for me. So let's get into it. I have a budget plan with me today because that's kind of where things have started popping off for me as far as like planning. Like I said, I haven't really been in a paper planner that much in the past year, but one thing I have been doing is budget planning, and I've been doing it pretty regularly now since about June, July, end of June, beginning of July, definitely in August, September, and then this past month, October. And one of the main things that I've really been doing is budgeting by paycheck. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. I may walk you through the budget section of my planner. Like I said, this is kind of where it started for me. Like, I feel like once I got into budget planning and felt like I had that sort of down, not necessarily down in perfect, but down in a routine, it's something that I do regularly. I then fell down the rabbit hole again to paper planning. Right now I'm in a letter sized tulle. Well, the cover, this pink cover here is tulle, but all of the inserts in here are mine. I've designed them all in Canva, and that's just what I've been using. So I'm hoping that I'll have some playing with me and some different things like that coming out throughout the rest of this month. I've really missed doing YouTube. I fell out of it. There's been a lot going on. Like, we can get into all of that, but let's just get this budget done because I have to pick my daughter up soon. So let me start doing that, and then we can kind of talk about where I've been, what I've been up to, what I've been doing. So I think the last time that I sort of talked to you guys, I was moving to Hawaii, which I have since done now. So let me zoom you guys in a little bit more so you can kind of see what I'm doing. What I'm working on now is my Paycheck budget sort of worksheet. It's a worksheet that I drafted for myself. I know I've been saying forever, I'm gonna get a shop, but seriously, in 2021 especially, I just want to launch these and make them available to people. If you've been watching budget or finance videos like I have, everybody paycheck budgets, and honestly, it's been a game changer for me. It's really like changed how I look at my money, how I manage it. It's just made it so much easier and less scary, I feel like. I don't know why, I just feel like before I was just so intimidated by, you know, my finances and figuring out how to navigate them. So yeah, I'm gonna zoom you guys in as much as I can so you can really kind of see what I got going on here. Okay, so I have my income here, and it says budgeted, actual, and then total. So for my income, I have my check. So my check is actually lower than it normally is because I had a debt accrued like from my job. So there was a pay that I was getting because my husband and I were separated due to the military, like physically separated from each other. So they give you additional money for that. I got that money, but like with everything the Navy at least does, they take forever. So they paid the money to me. I knew they didn't stop it. Basically, they didn't stop the pay when they were supposed to. I knew that, so I had the money set away. And then I just elected, because, you know, of course, they're going to take their coins from you. So, yeah, they always going to take their money. So I set the money aside, and I elected for them to take the lump sum that I owed in one of my checks. So I have that money set aside. But I don't think I'm gonna need as much of it as I thought I was gonna need. So it might just go into savings. So that's my income portion. And I actually put this for actual too, because this is actually what I got paid. So I got paid on the 28th, the night of the 27th or the 28th, and then today is the 29th. So I'm kind of late having this up. This is usually like the first thing I do. I always make sure I do this every single month. But because I wanted to do this video, I'm a little bit behind. So I have income, and then I have okay, so the starting balance for my accounts. So in both my accounts, I had, which I think is wrong. No, maybe that's right. Here I have 6131. So I'm just gonna put this down. I went over this yesterday, but whatever. I think that is correct. And then I actually got, so this is why I'm happy that I waited to do this video. So, to catch up in what I've been doing. So, I moved to the island of Oahu with my daughter. My husband was in Virginia pretty much this whole year. And while on Oahu, my daughter and I not only moved here, but I purchased a townhome. So I moved again on the island. So since I've talked to you all, I've moved. I've had 2 moves. And honestly, moving is like no joke, and I'm super over it. Like, one of the biggest factors as far as like me getting out, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, like wanting to get out, is that I'm over moving and I'm over having to move. My rotation is like is it like 3-3? Basically 3 years at shore, 3 years at sea. I think somewhere in those realms. Basically every 3 years I'm moving, and basically I'm over it. Like, they're not really worth the trouble, to be honest. So I said all that to say that I actually, yesterday when I checked my mailbox, I got a huge surprise that I completely forgot about, which was this right here. So the previous owners of my townhouse needed to stay here an extra month. They needed to stay in the house an extra month. So I closed on this house in July, and we didn't move in until August. And the husband of the couple that was living here is a was a DOD employee, and he retired. So our whole thing with moving is pretty much the same. Where like he had to get orders and things like that. And with COVID going on, things were kind of just delayed as far as getting movers and stuff. So in our agreement, they agreed to still have, like, we agreed to close in July, and then for the month of July, they would pay me for it. I completely forgot about this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I was just kind of over moving, and once we got in the house, I was just happy to get in the house and feel a little bit more settled than I had been the last couple months, that I literally forgot. I didn't even think about it. Also because I have been like taking care of my finances and doing everything. I mean, not to flex, but to flex, your girl was prepared. So like, I've moved enough to know that it costs a lot to move, and I had money put away, so we weren't really like needing for anything, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when you move, you have to do your initial turn-ons of different utilities and things like that. So I'm used to like the bills being higher and having to get a rental truck and do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I was kind of prepared for that. I would say this last move, I was the most like financially prepared. So I had a lot of money saved up, because especially because this was not my first time moving in Hawaii, but like it was my second time moving in Hawaii. So things here can get kind of expensive. Like things that you didn't think would get expensive, and then things that you think that would be expensive really don't end up costing that much. It's really weird here. So yeah, I just had a lot of money. You know, I kind of really like stacked some money away because I knew that it was gonna kind of be expensive. Like I said, I have a toddler, like, and then there's COVID on top of that. Like, things are happening in the world, so I just made sure I was literally like penny pinching before we moved. So I had a pretty nice sum of change put away to move. So that we weren't really hugely inconvenienced. I think the last time that we moved here, especially because that was my first time moving with a child, like with our daughter. So I just know last time it was like a lot, and I just was not ready for it. Like, it's not even just the moving that gets expensive. It's the having a kid portion. You know what I mean? Like, you have a kid, they need a lot of stuff, or it's just easier if you're able to just hold on. I can't like write and talk at the same time. I'll probably speed up some of this, to be completely honest. But yeah, it just gets to be a lot. And I wanted to make sure that if we needed to eat out for, you know, every day for like a week or 3 weeks or whatever the situation was, we were able to do it. If I needed to like get us a hotel or something, I could do it. Like, I just wanted to be prepared. So when I got the check from when they were here yesterday, I was like, I got it from it was like a huge envelope that came from my escrow company. And I I'm not gonna lie, like I panicked just a little bit because I was like, wait, what? Like, what is this? And when I opened it, I was like very pleasantly surprised because I completely forgot, honestly. And just because there was a lot of money moving around, like anybody who has purchased a home or whatever, made like a kind of a big purchase like this, at least in home buying, you know, like those first couple months, even when you're moving, honestly, those first like couple months are kind of weird, of just money moving back and forth into this place and that place. So it can be a little hard to keep track of, honestly. So yeah, I was like not really, I think that I thought that I got it already. Like, I think I thought that I got the money already. But lucky me, I didn't. So that's where that money came from, and that's why I'm not gonna have to dip into as much savings as I thought to cover for this shortage of my check. And then I got a Rakuten check. So one of my coworkers, she talks about Rakuten all the time at work, and it's really hilarious. We low-key kind of like are like, you should be their spokeslady. But she, what up, Spock? She put me onto that. So yeah, I got a check. I actually did some planner shopping with this, and I got a check from them, so I'm excited. So I'm gonna like basically fill all this in, and then I guess I'll talk to you guys about what I have filled in. So income is here. These are my fixed expenses. So I have my mortgage, my HOAs, my electric, my Spectrum, which is internet, CDC, not Center of Disease Control, but Child Development Center. I get that all the time. That's my daughter's daycare. She goes to a daycare on base here, so that's there, and they cut is $325, but whatever. We're letting it go. We're growing. We're getting past it. My car note. This isn't my full car note. Every month or every pay period, I split my bills in half. So my car note is $380, so I split it into $190. My mortgage is $299.50, I think, or something. So half of it is this, HOAs, this is actually the full amount, because I'm gonna pay them the full amount, because whatever, we can get into that later, but there's a whole mix up about them. So I did have it separated in my other account, but I'm just gonna pay the whole thing this month, and then hopefully next check I'll be able to like split it in half. Electric, my electric here, we have solar panels, so it hasn't been more than about $6 or $85, except for this month. This month it came out to $101.92, so I allot $85 for that. So for this check, at least, it's not due until the 17th, so technically it doesn't have to get paid on this check, but I'm gonna set $85 aside for this check, and then the remaining small amount, I think it's like $16 or something additional, is gonna come out of my next check, and then I'm gonna pay it then. Spectrum is my internet, so that's $65. So here's the thing about Spectrum, they didn't charge me anything last month, and I looked on my bill and told me nothing was due, and my internet is not cut off. So I don't know, I'm putting this money aside, I'm keeping it there to see what happens. We'll see. I got the money if it's there, but I literally have been checking my account to see if there was like a mistake or something. I'm not seeing anything, so I don't know. But yeah, I haven't gotten on the phone with them, because honestly the last time I was on the phone with them, I like my service that I have with Spectrum, but I just don't like talking to their associates. It just was not an enjoyable experience. They transferred me one place, I was on hold for 30 minutes, I was talking to the girl for like 5 minutes, and then the phone hung up. And I can't. Like, I can't with them. So, whatever. I'm just going to let that ride and see. Maybe I had a credit when I moved. I'm thinking maybe I had a credit when I moved, because I used them at my last apartment. So, maybe it was a credit that they're applying to this. I'm not really sure, but I checked my bill, checked my account. Nothing looked funny. So, we're just going to see. Let's see, what else do we have here? USAA, that's my car insurance for my husband and I. It comes out each check, so it's about $53 each check. Phone bill, my phone bill for my husband and I, and it has our phone bill, so each of our phones, both our phones are paid off. I just paid my husband's phone off. Thank Luke Jesus. Like, that's a whole nother subject we can get into later. But anyway, I paid his off because I just don't understand the point of leasing phones, to be completely honest. I just don't get it. So the only thing that we really are getting charged for are our lines. We have hotspots, and we have iPhones. Apple Watches. I'm not gonna show you mine because I'm using it as like a viewfinder right now as I'm recording. So, but yeah, and we each have a line on our Apple Watches. So our bill is $150.16. That's pretty much with our military discounts. We also have our Netflix like bundled in there. So I really do think I'm getting a deal. Like, I'm getting a bang for my buck. Even though I got T-Mobile, which is now with Sprint, who I left before, and my service isn't that great. I take the good with the bad. Honestly, I don't even really like talking on the phone that much anyway, so it doesn't bother me, to be completely honest. But like I said, I split that in half. So each check, I'll be pulling out the $75, and then when my bill comes, it'll just pull it out. It comes the second the second check of the month. Apple, so my husband was paying all of our subscriptions at one point. He's not. I am now. And he was in charge of our Apple. I was only under the impression that for Apple we owed them like the $14 for like Apple Music, and then I think it's like $3 for our iCloud. But I put $20 here, but I've been seeing another charge, and I can't figure out what it is. So I have to get with him and figure out what that is, and if it's necessary, and if I can get rid of it or not. Because to be honest, those are the only things I use, so I'm like, everything else is unnecessary. Canva, that's about $12 a month, but it doesn't come out to the next check. Hulu, I want to say is like $12 as well, but that doesn't come out to the next check. And then Disney Plus. I know that I can combine Hulu and Disney Plus with like ESPN, all these other shows, but to be honest, at least in our house, with it just being me and my daughter right now, the internet is just fine. Like we're Netflix. She'll get on Disney Plus. I don't even really get on Disney Plus. She does. We'll both sometimes watch Hulu. I just don't think that it's necessary. Maybe when my husband is in the house with us, we'll maybe look at this because he might want like the ESPN package. But for right now, with it just being the girls, we can like we ball on a budget when it's just me and my daughter. So that entire total I have here is $249, $24.90, 15. So that is that. Then I have my variable expenses. I'm sorry if this is like twisted. I write kind of sideways, so I hope that doesn't bother you guys too much. I'm trying to get like close enough without it being in the way. So for variable expenses, I have gas, I have groceries, I have eating out, I have new ID, and title is in for my car, not the subscription service, car wash, Halloween, and gifts. Okay, so for gas, because of COVID, I don't really go anywhere, to be completely honest. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit more, see if we can get a little bit closer. I don't really go anywhere, to be like 1000% honest. Pretty much work and home, and that's it. I just got a newer car, so I'm leasing a newer Kia, which is where this title line item comes from. So yeah, for my car I get pretty good gas mileage. I don't go anywhere. I also live on an island now, so there's not that many places I can go, to be completely honest, unless I just want to like drive in a circle around this place. But I mean, I like it. Hey, I actually really like it. So pretty much every pay period I do about $20, and I'm good on gas for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, so it's good. $3.75. So this I think is kind of like my sweet spot for gas. I've been doing really well with this so far. Like the last maybe 2 checks, I've been doing really good. I've just also discovered or really gotten hip to Costco. They work with Instacart when you order online, like for groceries and getting them delivered. I don't know what my aversion was to getting my groceries delivered before. I think the last, like the condo that I used to live in, I think it was just kind of inconvenient to, it was like inconvenient to get mail. It was inconvenient to like get packages or things delivered. It was just kind of annoying and I didn't like it. So I think that's why I kind of steered away from getting my groceries delivered. Since COVID, a lot more stores are offering it. But to be honest, since COVID, I have a 2-year-old, so anyone who knows a toddler, on a good day, they're germy. So during the world of COVID, they're deadly. So I just don't take her a lot of places simply because the fact she likes to touch things. She's learning, that's how they learn. And then she likes to touch her face. And she's getting more into the idea of the whole mask situation, but she still doesn't understand it all the way. She doesn't want to wear it all the time. So when it comes to this, especially like getting groceries, I would just much rather have them delivered. With Costco, it's free for orders that are at least $35. And I'm like, can I even get anything at Costco less than $35? Like, I don't even think I could make a purchase there for less than $35 if I tried. So it works out really well. I really like it. I've done it. This will be my 3rd time doing it, and I'm obsessed. So I'm able to like put it online, even if I do it usually I like to schedule like the day before, do my little shopping look. I like to do it the day before because sometimes I'll wake up the next day and be like, oh crap, I actually need this as well, and it gives me more time to add to my order if I need to, and then I schedule it to be delivered when I get home from work, and it's amazing. I literally walk out there, grab it, come back in the house, and we're good to go. So next is eating out. I also think 155 is kind of a good spot for this too. October, I just celebrated my birthday on the 26th. That whole weekend especially, I ate out, so I anticipated it in my last budget to be higher. And now that I'm kind of coming down from the birthday celebration, I think this is like a good amount of money for us. Hopefully it'll be less. I'm always trying to strive to get this less than, but I'm not gonna lie, we don't eat out a lot. Like, we don't go and eat out all the time, but when we do go out to eat, we eat good. Like, we go out, we're dropping a little bit of money when we go out to eat. Things here in Hawaii, I feel like, I mean, honestly, anytime you go out now, especially in the state of the world, you're taking a risk. But at least here in Hawaii, I feel more comfortable. It's an island, it's tropical, so outside seating is always kind of an option for us, and there's always enough adequate space to distance us from other patrons, so I just feel more comfortable, you know what I mean? We're not right on top of each other. We usually get outdoor seating. It's usually just my daughter and I, and we don't do it that often. So to each his own about your specific kind of situation. To ours, sometimes we need that little breather, and to be outside especially. And when we go, we're dining in. So we're going somewhere nice, we're dining in, and that's just what we're doing. So, you know. So then I also have on here new ID, title, car wash, Halloween, and gifts. So the new ID, like I just said, my birthday was on the 26th. My ID expired. I get an extension because I'm active duty military. I'm from Ohio, so they give us an extension, and I can also do it online. So I just took my picture for my ID. I actually took two. They were both ugly, but I don't want to pay money to get another one, so I'm just gonna rock with it. I'm just really upset because my last ID, my current ID, the one that I have, the picture is really nice. Like, it's real cute. I look cute. And so I wanted to continue that, but yeah. The lighting where you go to like get your passport picture taken here is like way harsh, and your girl not looking too hot, so whatever. And then title, like I said, I'm leasing my current car, and for my previous car that I owned, they need the title for it. I didn't have the title for it. It never got released to me, and to be honest, I never really thought about it. And so I traded it in, but they need it to, like, I guess, get it turned over to Hawaii and like pay the taxes for Hawaii. So I have to order that, and both those are going to be about $30. And then car wash, I don't have a subscription or anything, but my car is looking real dirty. It's been looking real dirty these, like, literally probably this past month. This past month it's been off and on raining pretty hard, so I've been trying to wait to get it washed. But we went to the beach like maybe 2 weekends ago, and I have sand in my car, so I really just need to like get it washed and vacuum it out because it's looking a mess. I usually do, like, the car wash is usually like $18 that I do, so I just budgeted $20. And then Halloween, so my daughter, I got her 2 Halloween costumes, one for school and then one for the day of Halloween. We actually got those yesterday. I had $100 budgeted for here, but it actually ended up being $85. So I went and tweaked the numbers before I wrote this down. And then gifts. So my birthday was the 26th. My husband's birthday is tomorrow, the 31st. So I'm gonna order him some gifts, and then I also want 2 new planners. They're not really planners, honestly. One is the Moxie Life companion notebook. The other one is the Best Today workbook. I think I'm gonna get both of those. So I budgeted it, whatever words. Sure, I'll go with that. Budget. I put it in the budget. That's what I did. I put it in the budget. To get this pay period, I was gonna get them last pay period, but I didn't for whatever reason. I ended up spending the money on like eating out, so I put it in the budget this time to get it because I think those are just the only two that I really want. So this total is $903. Then if you go up, so under income, you then have debt. So at the moment, I guess you could consider car a debt. I don't know. I guess it could be a debt, but it's really just kind of like an expense. I think I consider it an expense because I am leasing and I'm not paying to like own it. So once my lease is up, I'll probably be getting another car. Not a new car. It'll definitely be used. And if I'm purchasing that outright, it'll most likely be a debt. But for right now, the only debt that I have is, of course, student loans. And it is $456. Don't sound happy about it because I'm not happy about it. Like, that is, so buying a home and paying off my student loans are the two things that I wanted to do by the time that I'm 30. One, I've accomplished, and I have a year to, I don't think that I'm going to finish it all by the time I'm 30. But I just can't wait to never have to pay them again. Like, whatever, man. Like, we can get into it another time, but I cannot wait. And I cannot wait to be done. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even go to school but a semester. But, you know, whatever. You live, you learn. Next, I have my savings portion, or my savings goals. So one is sinking funds. So that's $260. I try to put $260 in there every pay period. I've done it consistently for the last like 3 months, I think, since like August, putting $260 in there, except for last pay period. That was the first pay. Tongue-tied. That was the first pay period that I didn't contribute anything. Because it was, I'm gonna be honest, I think next year I'm going to like do a sinking fund strictly for October. It'll probably be October and November because those are the 2 months that we kind of go crazy. October because it's my husband and I's birthday, so we love Halloween. I go out to eat. It's just a celebratory month. Like, it's 2 of my really good friends' birthdays, mine and my husband's birthdays. It's Halloween. Something else happens in October that I can't remember right now. But it's just a month that we're like celebrating, and I always end up spending a lot of money this month. So I think next year I'm definitely gonna make a sinking fund for it. November, just because it's Black Friday, so when we do decide to shop or we decide to make like purchases, especially like bigger purchases, we usually do it on Black Friday. So I think next year we want just like a fund for that, so that we can really pull the trigger, especially on household things that we want, like those bigger things like new TVs, just a lot. We can get into it in another video, and I can kind of discuss like the home improvement kind of things that I want to do. But yeah, definitely I'm gonna need a sinking fund for that next year. And then let's see. Okay, and then this last saving goal is my emergency fund. So on the back, we'll flip to the back and I'll show you how I kind of divvy up these sinking funds and then this emergency fund. Okay, so we're gonna take the income, 554.85.34 minus the 33.92.15 minus the 456, and then minus the 16.36.19, and that comes out to 0. So I try to do a zero-based budget. I'm still working on this. Like, I'm still working it out. Whenever I get to the end of the month, for my actuals, I'm still finding an issue, which leads me into like basically knowing that I need to tweak how I'm capturing my expenses. So I'm a cashless budgeter, meaning I don't use cash at all. Before a pandemic, not even that I thought it was gross, I just don't enjoy using cash. Like I lost $100 in Starbucks, or on my way to Starbucks, or on my way from Starbucks. I don't really remember. All I remember is I had $100. I was on my way to Starbucks. I left Starbucks, didn't have $100. Don't know what happened, and I didn't spend $100 at Starbucks. Like, I know for a fact that did not happen. But I misplaced the money, and ever since then, I've just been paranoid that, like, oh, what if I have a large sum of money and I just randomly misplace this large wad of cash somewhere, and then you're just, like, ass out. Like, so, yeah, I just can't do the cash. And then all the receipts, like, it was just cluttering up my car, which I don't need a million scraps of paper to assist in the cluttering of my car. So it just wasn't for me going cashless. So right now I'm using my debit cards. Later this year, or hopefully next year, I'm trying to get a credit card to kind of work up my credit. I was able to build my credit by, I believe, 85 points last year. And I'm trying to do that again, hopefully this next year. That's what I'm trying to work on. Those are like another one of my major goals, is to really work on my credit and some other things. I want to have a whole like goals financial video. But yeah, I think working on my personal finances and trying to just like tweak and tweak and tweak, I'm getting a lot better at it. But on this last reflection of my paycheck budget, I really realized I need to do a better job at like really honing in on my expenses and tracking them, so that I can do a better job at being able to reconcile my expenses at the end of the month. So once I do this whole thing, I then flip it over and we get into the sinking funds portion. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my paycheck budget. This is how it looks for the most part. I do that, and then I'm gonna have a planner sort of flip through. I'm gonna zoom you guys out. I'm gonna have a planner flip through coming soon, so you guys can see how my planner is currently laid out.